Greetings, friends from the distant future. You know me as Alexander the Great, conqueror whose armies swept across half the world, from Macedon to the borders of India. But let me share the truth, not the one etched in your books, but the one that lived in my heart. I was more than a king and warrior. I was a boy trembling in the shadow of my father, Philip II, a great king whose victories echoed through every corner of Greece. He demanded perfection, and that fear of failing to live up to his legacy, haunted me like a shadow at noon. Yet that fear became my teacher, my ally. Let me tell you my story so you may see how fear can be forged into the fire that lights the path to greatness. Picture me as a child. I was just 13 when my father brought Bucephalus to the stables, a wild, untamed stallion with eyes blazing fury, his hooves striking terror into the hearts of the finest riders. Everyone backed away, grooms, warriors, even my father. They saw only danger, a beast that could not be tamed. I felt fear, sharp as a dagger, fear of pain, fear of failure before the eyes of those who expected greatness from me. My heart pounded like a war drum. My mind swirled with doubts. What if I fall? What if I can't? But I looked at Bucephalus differently. I saw not a threat, but a challenge. He feared the sun blinding him, the shadow he cast. I turned his head from the light, whispered words of comfort, and he yielded. That moment was my first triumph over myself. Bucephalus carried me through battlefields until the end, and I learned what others fear can bow to you if you dare to see the problem from a new angle. Young souls of the 21st century, what is your Bucephalus are roaring in the dark? What fear can you tame to become your loyal companion? Then came my father's death. He was only 46 when a traitor's dagger ended his life. In that moment, the world crashed onto my shoulders. Mine, a 20-year-old youth. I became king of Macedon, but inside a storm of doubts raged. Am I ready? I asked myself in the dead of night. Can I hold the empire he built? What if my generals betray me as they betrayed him? Fear of betrayal gnawed at me, and the loneliness of power was cold as winter winds in the mountains. Grief for my father mingled with rage at fate, at enemies, at myself for doubting. The burden of responsibility felt unbearable, like Atlas's load. But I did not break. I turned that pain into resolve. I rallied my army, crushed rebellions in Greece and Thebes, each battle a test of my will. I learned that doubts are not weakness, but a signal. They show where you must grow stronger. And you, friends, in your fast-moving world, when the weight of studies, career, or dreams feels too heavy, know it's your chance to rise. How will you turn your doubts into steps toward the summit? Then began the great campaign, a leap into the unknown. I led 40,000 men across the Hellespont into the vast lands of Asia, where the Persian Empire loomed like an ocean. Fear of the unknown gnawed at me. What if we lose ourselves in these deserts? What if my mission, to unite the world under one sky, is an illusion? The thrill of early victories mixed with the bitterness of loss. Friends fell in battle, their blood staining the earth, and I felt loneliness even among thousands. Then came the Gordian knot, that ancient puzzle in the temple, which no one could unravel. Prophecy said whoever untied it would conquer Asia. Others saw an unsolvable problem, a labyrinth of ropes and tradition. I stood before it, feeling the weight of expectation, doubts whispering, "You're not ready." But I refused to play by their rules. With one stroke of my sword, I cut it apart. It was not just an act of strength, it was a metaphor. Sometimes you must make your own rules to win. The world said impossible, but I said possible. What is your Gordian knot waiting to be cut? What problem in your life seems unsolvable until you dare rewrite the rules? The climax came at Gaugamela. Darius' army outnumbered mine 5-1, 100,000 against my 40,000. The night before, fear gripped my heart. What if this is the end? What if my fire in battle isn't enough to bend fate? I felt the thrill of coming glory, but also the bitterness for the soldiers I might lose, for friends already fallen. The loneliness of leadership was absolute. I alone bore the weight of all. But I spoke to my men not as a king, but as a brother. We don't fear numbers, I told them. We fight for immortality. I ignited them with my belief, turning my fear into fuel. We struck the heart of the Persian line, and Darius fled. Victory was sweet as honey, but it taught me true strength lies in mastering fear, yours and others. Facing overwhelming odds, find the fire within to inspire those around you. You and your age face Gaugamelas every day, exams, career challenges, or global problems. How will you find the strength to inspire yourself and those around you? What is your Persia waiting to be conquered? My friends, my life has been a whirlwind of battles and conquests, but at its core, it has been a struggle with myself. I was no god. I was a man who made his fear serve him. Each of you has a world waiting for its conqueror. Do not fear your shadows. Use them to step into the light. Turn your doubts into your advisors and your loneliness into your teacher. What mark will you leave on history? Rise, my friends, and conquer your horizon. I, Alexander, believe in you.